All right, y'all, Greg Abbott in Bible prophecy. Where's he at? Okay, because we see him with the wall in Texas, and Greg is tied to the Gregorian calendar, and he's tied to the AbbOTTAMAN Empire for the Ottoman Empire for the Abbot. Okay, and Abbot. So he's just doing what he's told. So this lame man, he's been given the walk. Okay, and he's going to walk again. All right, so this is how the prophecy is being fulfilled in a parable or a metaphor and such, because the people by the church are being taught definitions by carnal men, and they're being taught to think a certain way and all these other things when they're not going to be happening that way, because it's the tribulation of the word. It's not the tribulation of the earth or tribulation of man or tribulation of any of that stuff. It's the tribulation of the word. And as the New Testament is a spiritual test on men, the church is that spiritual test. That's why Jesus went against the church. That's why Paul left the church. That's why Mark left the church, and multiple things telling us that the church is wrong. Okay, the whole New Testament is telling us that the church is wrong, but it's just the going back into the Bell worship. Either way, folks, Greg Abbott, he's going to be made to walk again, and he just started his new czar today in Texas. So we got a czar in Texas. We got the wall, which is the replay of the Wailing Wall, and it's also the replay of the Berlin Wall, because y'all ain't going to be able to leave America when this is all said and done. It's not to keep people out, it's to keep people in. But either way, folks, this is all part of that beast system as well, where the beast man needs to be contained and caged up and those things. And this is all kind of signs in front of y'all. They're putting a cage around you. You got Furbies in school. You got litter boxes for kids to piss in now, and whatever else is going on. So y'all are all complaining and upset or whatever, but y'all are still living by the system and sending your kids off to these structures and going to these churches that are doing this stuff now or whatever. So they're telling y'all that all this stuff is perverse and wicked, and they're bringing in all the bad stuff through the churches. They're bringing all the bad stuff in through the schools. So the people aren't leaving the churches. They're just going to another church or whatever, and eventually it's just going to spread and spread and spread, because the people aren't doing anything about it. They're just going and tolerating it. Well, tolerance ain't good. Anyways, folks, incrementally they're changing things, and they will incrementally change all things. This is how the good becomes bad and bad becomes good. There is no good, there is no bad. It's whatever you are brainwashed to think in that day. Okay, it's just like we're being brainwashed today. People are wondering why these young kids don't want to work, don't want to go out and get jobs. They don't want to move out. They don't want to do anything that the old boomer generation used to do. Well, it's because the schools and the fundamentals, the foundation and all this stuff is teaching your children to do these things, because it's preparing them for the next age, and people aren't putting it together. They're not thinking about anything. They're just being herded along. Anyways, y'all, Greg Abbott is coming up. He's going to be made to walk again. He's going to be made to walk again through his wall. Okay? Wall. Okay? Because the Mexicans say, okay? Go put it over there. Okay? Park. Okay? Anyways, guys, y'all get it, hopefully. If you got the eyes and ears to hear and see, you'll get it. Otherwise, the parrot, that man up there, the carnal definitions, he's trying to explain the Bible to you word by word. He's trying to blind you. That's why the people, God's people, they're destroyed for lack of knowledge. And that's why the church and Revelations, the saints and all that, they're all destroyed. They all take the mark because they worship Baal. Okay? They're going back into that system. They love their enslavement. And so as the income tax will go away, you're going to have to start paying for all your sins. And that's when all your shit will be taxed to high heaven. But you think you're not going to pay tax in one way, shape, or form, but they'll get you one way. Either way, guys, Greg, the Gregorian calendar, the AbbOTTAMAN Empire, that's all coming to Texas, okay? Texas is got its own little limelight coming. That's why Elon's down there. That's why it's the lone star state. And we've had that star rise in front of you, the morning light, the dawn, and then the dawn's risen. And then you got the day Satan coming. And then after the day Satan coming, you have the night in shining armor coming. And that's when Harry and stuff will rise for his millennial reign and all those things. But we got 4 kings coming within 4 kings, okay? There's one master stone. There's a bunch of other stones with a bunch of other kings like Elon and stuff. But not all the kings are necessarily in a power position, okay? Greg Abbott, he's a king. Okay, Elon Musk, he's a king. Bezos, he's a king. Gates, he's a king. But they're not necessarily kings as like the boomers like, oh, a king? What do you mean by a king? Okay, anyways, it's a thinking man's game. Jesus said to test all men. To test all men, you have to be a thinking man. To seek truth, you have to be a thinking man. You have to study the word to seek truth. You have to be able to read and research to search truth, okay? God's people destroyed lack of knowledge. They're not searching truth. They're not reading the word. They're not reading words, okay? The word is not just the Bible. The word is all words. Jesus is all words, okay? Word can be taken good or bad. Depends on the text, depends on the tone, all those types of things. So the church is there to blind the spiritual man. The Bible is there to give you light as a spiritual man. That's why it's a two-edged sword. It can be used against you or it can be used for you, okay? That's why the ties, they're shaped like a little sword. They got the point on them or whatever because they have no spiritual sword. They only have a carnal sword, okay? All the pastors, all right? All pastors are reprobates, all right? They've been given over, all right? Go back and read. That's why they're up there doing what they're doing, okay? But it's all there, folks. Blinded by the light, I woke up like a deuce in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night. And Harry, that's when y'all are going to be waking up.